I think that that's your lane. I would never tell anybody to do that. You know why?
That's not my lane, bro. That's the lane that's out here. My lane is make sure you have your finances together, right? My lane is your lane all the way up until we get to the point of actually utilizing credit. I agree with everything you say.
I do.
But once you learn how to control your finances, once your bank account has enough money in it, and you're able to operate without being under financial duress, there is another level to this game.
All right, y'all. So today we got a fun one. A few days ago, I had a chance to get on a platform and have a discussion with someone that I wholeheartedly support and believe in his movement. Anton Daniels hosts the Millionaire Morning Show every morning around 8 a.m. Now, typically speaking, I'm just getting into my office. I usually will turn them on and kind of listen to them as I go about my early morning duties. But on this particular day, I heard Anton talking about credit. Now, this is something that him and I have had dialogue before because Anton is, at this point, one of my friends. And we've had these discussions several times about credit, but this time, it was going to happen in front of his followers. This turned into a really good discussion, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So let's go. All right, so let me apologize for the horrendous audio. I had to use my iPhone because for some reason my computer would not connect to the Ecamm software that he uses for his show. This video is about 40 minutes long, y'all, so bear with me.
Listen, bro. You the king of education, man. Right? I got on you.
I'm taking my watch off and putting my Apple Watch on this time.
Do your thing, bro. I got on you a couple months ago because I feel like sometimes you be on here wasting your time. Preaching stuff to people, bro, that they just are not ready to absorb. But when it comes to the credit game, that's where you draw the line.
Okay.
This is where you go, I'm not going to teach this because you're not ready for it. Well, let me ask you a question. And this is the route I've taken when it comes to credit repair, credit education, blah, blah, blah. Because I have a decent-sized platform across social media. I can big dog people.
A lot of people don't know that you did radio. I see the people talking about your voice. They like your voice. They don't know that you did radio and all of that stuff.
His followers stay clowning my voice, boy. It's funny, though.
I can big dog people and keep them beneath me, or I can bring them up to where I'm at in the form of responsibility and education. I can give them my time. I can give them my knowledge and let them do what they will. Now, you will educate people on using brokerage accounts. You are putting out real estate information. You are always giving away the dopest game, by the way, bro. So keep doing your thing. But this is where you draw the line. My question to you is why? Why do you draw the line
credit
here? Yeah.
Because I don't leverage credit.
That's not that, but that's not it.
Yes, it is.
Credit you don't know about it, and it doesn't mean that other people don't need it.
So, just in case you don't know, Anton at this particular point in life has made it so far financially that he can actually invest in real estate property, build real estate property up using cash out of his bank account only. But what Anton forgets is that I've been following him for a while and we've been cool for a minute. And Anton has publicly said, and by the way, I'm not going to say anything on this channel or on this video that Anton hasn't publicly said and made known, whether it's on his YouTube channel or within his Patreon. Now, if you guys ain't bag chasers, please feel free to go ahead over to his channel. Go to his Bag Chasers link. I might even put it in the chat just for you guys to go because it is a phenomenal Patreon. But what he forgets is that he has told people that he just recently paid off a mortgage for one of his rental properties. How you get that mortgage, bro? If you're not leveraging credit, how you get that mortgage, my man? See, and Anton is he knows I'm gonna keep it a buck with him. This was a little bit disingenuous. He does leverage credit. He has just gotten to a point where he's so smart with his finances that he will eliminate any and all debt that he has in order to move forward free and clear.
You're doing the Dave Ramsey thing.
No, because I believe that whenever I try to figure something out of whether or not I should give people information, a lot of times I have to be very, very careful with how I do it, because if you go out and you kill yourself or you suffer as a result of it, I believe that I would be responsible for that, right? And so I have to manage people along with, like, even when I do coaching sessions, I manage their character. I force them to have to face a lot of other things other than just telling them how to get to the bag, because it has to be all encompassing. It's going to be either you get it all or you get none of it.
I agree.
And so a lot of times when people use credit, they're being communicated to wrong. And so they would take some of the information that I would give them, and then they would leverage that to put themselves in a bad situation, because there's so much misinformation out here about how to use credit effectively.
Also true.
And so I can't just give them the game. I got to bring them along. I got to understand the people's needs on it.
You can't bring them along if you're not using it right either. See, you
So
don't
how
use
am I
credit.
using it wrong? Tell me how I'm using it wrong.
Because you don't use credit. So, for instance, right, you got the Chase Sapphire card, right, or Sapphire
Well,
Reserve.
technically, I do use credit, but I don't use it in the way that most people use it. Yeah, you're right.
He got a lease on a Tesla and a lease on a Porsche. Anton, you can't put your information out, big dog, and expect people like me not to use it. Got a lease on a Tesla, a lease on a Porsche. Just finished paying off one of his properties, I want to say like 6 or 7 or 8 months ago or something like that. All of these things take credit. He uses credit cards, the American Express Platinum card, to book flights and earn rewards and points from that. He says he uses a gold card in order to exponentiate the points that he gets in order to be able to book free travel. All of these things make sense when it comes to using credit. You do use credit. So you got to stop saying that type of stuff, bro. I know it sounds good, bro, when you say I don't use credit, because naturally, if you don't use credit, what are you using to further your life, to further your ventures? You're using your own built cash. Okay, cool. We give you credit for that. But bro, you do use credit. There's some game to give people when it comes to doing that and doing it the right way.
Right, man. I mean, here's my thing. You don't use it like that because you don't need to use it like that. But you will discuss the necessary features of using it properly, i.e., you say, don't use credit, but then you tell people you need good payment history, you need good credit age, you need to have a good mix of credit accounts. You give them all the stuff, but then you don't make the connection for them, bro.
So what
if
is the
you don't
connection that
talk
they need to
about it-
make? You can make the connection for them.
No, I can't because I don't get on your platform like that.
You here
You know
right
what I'm saying? But
now.
you and I will have these conversations, right?
Yeah, we have them offline, but we don't have
Right.
them online.
But the people who need it, I don't need it. I already got.
I know
all my
you don't
Platinum
need it.
Gold cards. I got all my Chase cards. I got everything I want, right? And I know how to use it effectively. Let me run something by you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had financial trouble or credit trouble? Ever?
He knows I know the answer to this.
Credit trouble or financial trouble? It's
He
two
knows I
different
know
things.
the
Have you
answer.
ever owed anybody money? Have you ever owed any? I have. 10 years ago, I had a 420 credit score.
Yeah, I lost everything in 2008.
You
I
lost
lost
everything,
everything.
right?
Yeah, I got my
How did
cars
you get back
repossessed
on
and
your-
all of that.
How did you get back on your square?
What do you mean?
Did anybody look at you and go, oh no, he already messed up the game, bro. I'm gonna leave him where he at. He ain't ready. Or
Well-
did you go seek out the necessary help in order to pull yourself along, bro? And now you've got
No. So let me tell you how I did it. Well, one of the things that I understood also was that being married gave me more power because I was willing to walk away as far as like in 2008 when everything had went bad. I was willing to walk away from everything because I was then able to leverage my wife's name in order to do it more effectively while I was still building myself up, right?
Leverage your wife's name to do what, though? What are you leveraging? When you say leverage, it means that you were using that in order to get something more from another area of your life. You don't leverage something to get the same. You use leverage so that you can use less power to lift more, less power to garner more, less power, less finances to get more. How do you do that? How did you leverage her name? There's only a few ways to leverage a name. That is in influence. That is in credit. That is in absolute power. Something tells me that Rita does not have a whole lot of influence, at least not online. She probably has a lot of influence in life based upon some of the credentials that he's put out there that she has, which she's a very bright person. I met her in person. Probably doesn't have a whole lot of power because working under Anton, he's the face of the brand. So I would venture to say that leveraging his wife's name in this particular case would be, I was willing to let our cars get repossessed. I was willing to let the bills go past due and possibly into charge off and collection status and worry about getting back at that later because I knew I had her on the side. And this is correct. The significant other often plays an amazing role when it comes to saving the family finances. I posted a reel not too long ago and it had my wife on a treadmill and it showed her credit score. It was like an 809 or something like that. It showed my credit score was like an 804. And then it says significant other. Significant. Sign if I can't. And it was a joke, right? But it's real when it comes to real world applications. So if his name ended up getting trashed and her name was still in good standing, he could then leverage her name to go ahead and use her credit so he could get back some of the things he lost, i.e. get back another vehicle, get back another apartment. That's still utilizing credit. He doesn't realize he's actually giving game on the credit game without giving game. When you say stuff like I leveraged my wife's name after everything went bad in 08, you used her credit. Now, if I'm wrong, he'll shoot me a text message, let me know, hey, Jay, you was off base on that. But I highly doubt that I'm incorrect.
But then at the same time, it wasn't really that big of a deal because I didn't have to do anything because I then divested myself from the idea of using credit altogether. So then I said that I was going to build it from scratch without needing credit in order to continue to build wealth, which then allowed for me to take advantage of a lot of other opportunities because I didn't have to pay the interest that everybody else paid. And what it forced me to do was re-educate myself about what success looks like, right? So I'll give you an example. A lot of people, they'll go out and they'll purchase a house. And then there's a lot of misinformation out here about how, okay, purchase the house, and then you continue to gain the equity. You pull the equity out of it in order to go and purchase the new house. You continue to let somebody else pay for it, so on and so forth. But part of that problem is that most people don't understand exactly what the true cost of home ownership is. And so when there's any tumultuous time within the market, right, or the bank then calls in that loan, a lot of these people go completely broke because they don't understand the fact that the rules apply differently depending on what the circumstances is inside of the economy. And also when the interest rates are starting to go up, you're going to be in trouble, right? A lot of people not educating people as, okay, well, you can get all of these different properties, but then at the same time, if you start to have some vacancies or location, you did it the wrong way, or you're trying to flip in the wrong area, or you starting to have problems with a tenant and you have to carry that cost out of your own pocket, they start to find themselves in a difficult situation. We also seen that happen during the pandemic, right? Because the rent moratorium kicked in. A lot of the landlords started suffering. I knew some people that actually lost their properties, and then they had deals with other people and everything started falling apart. So when people have these conversations, they don't have them in a vacuum. They have them based off of what the popular subject is to be, similar that they had in the trucking industry. They said all of the pros of what sounded good. They said none of the cons. They telling these people that they're making a lot of money in real estate, when in reality, they just over cash flowing, and they don't even have enough money for the repairs if a tenant called and said that something broke down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but that's due to over leveraging in every way, right? So,
but most people getting into real estate is over leveraged.
Right, over leverage, right? And I'm gonna give you that argument. But let's talk about the basic people, bro.
Now, see, Anton's smart. He knows how to argue. He moved the goalposts, and I didn't catch him. But when rewatching this, I caught it. We went from talking about credit in general, just using credit in general, applying it in everyday life in general, to why he doesn't talk about real estate in credit or credit in real estate. That ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China as far as the conversation that we began having. But Anton is he is a master conversationalist. And I rewatched this and I got schooled big time in this conversation. Now, I got my points off. I definitely did. But I'm usually a much better debater when it comes to stuff like this. And Anton took me to school on this one. I'm going to give him his just due. He took me to school on this one. But if we were having a conversation straightforward, we would have had a lot more spirited debate back and forth as to all the particulars as to what we were talking about in the first place. I would have been able to bring him back as to what I slipped up a lot in this conversation. I'm going to give him that, though.
Basic people, right? And I'm talking about those of us who have made it to a certain level. We've gotten out of the muck and the mire. Now we up here. We live in a decent life or a good life or whatever the case is. We make enough money to live that cash life and live good. But what about the people who are trying to make that climb? Where are they going to get their information from? Here's the decision I made, right? I can either let the scammers and the schemers take over the world, or I can do my very level best to put out a product that can be service first, and everything else after that, put out information that's going to be truth and logic, and let everything else after that come, and see if I can combat the system a little bit. See, people who follow me understand one thing. And we're going to have the credit repair conversation too in a second. I'm not guaranteeing you shit. However, what I will do is I'll give you the information that I have and try to teach you how to use it effectively and try to teach you how to use it in a way that's going to be pragmatic, right? So if you can use credit in a pragmatic way, like you said, bro, you can get free money. Why
yeah, you can.
Do
but see, they don't.
Level best
So a lot of his followers kind of got on me about this. I saw some of the comments in the thing. Somebody said specifically, there is no such thing as free money. If you're not paying for it, then you're the product or something like that, which is a true statement typically. But when I say free money, I mean, if I'm going to spend the $1, right? And if I spend it on my debit card or I spend it in cash, I spent $1, I got my product, and I got nothing else back. Or I can use my cards that have points rewards. I can spend that $1, I can get my 3 or 4 points back, which typically is going to be 3 or 4 cents on the dollar, which doesn't add up to, which doesn't seem to be much in a singular transaction. But when you add it up over the months of the year, right? When you add it up over time, it becomes a significant amount of money when it's used with discipline. There is a such thing as free money. What you don't believe in is there is a such thing as overall discipline. You don't believe that people can be taught to manage their finances effectively and properly. And that's what people mean when they say that using credit cards is not free money. They're operating out of fear, lack, and scarcity, not out of knowledge and abundance. We are not the same.
Teach
But they're
people
not even
how to
educated
budget,
to understand what you mean by when you say free money.
because everything comes. Let me go from the basic beginning, right? First of all, you teach them the basic principles of money. And that's what you do. You teach them the basic principles of money. You let them know that they need discipline, right?
No man left behind.
And no man left behind, man. You have to, if that's the way you're going to live. And that's what you said, right? When I told you was wasting your time on telling men how to be men and trying to tell these modern women out here how to be softer women, how to be more feminine, that is, they're as not ready for that as they are not ready for the finance game. But you put that information out there. You do give them the opportunity to absorb that from you and do with it whatever the hell you're gonna do with it. This has to be the same way, bro. Because guess what? If you don't put it out there and I don't put it out there, it's still being used. We still out here. We
Not
still out here
necessarily,
making
though.
thousands of dollars for free.
Absolutely
Not necessarily though, and the reason why that's not necessarily true though, this is okay. So let's say I start to have certain conversations and I put it out there, like just on a public platform like this, right? A lot of times, what you do is you put the seeds out there that then force them to start doing a little bit more research, and then what happens is people will say, well, you know what? I need to tap in with you offline, or I need to tap in and start getting more information, and then you can start having those deeper conversations. But you gotta take into consideration that it be new people every day that come in and tune in. Is people
That's what the video library is.
But they don't all go off of that. They go off of the most recent thing that you talk about. And so, you know, when I'm considering the audience, I'm considering the people that are the newest to the information, along with the people that may have, you know, a little bit more information, or they may be a lot farther along in their journey. But I can't forget about the dude that's at the beginning, because if he find himself in a pitfall trying to eat meat when he should be eating baby food, that then falls on my shoulders as a person that is giving information. I don't
They're
feel comfortable
going to
doing
go get the information anyway.
They not.
They are.
not.
You're wrong on this one, bro.
They
and
not.
I'm telling you, you're wrong. Several 100,000 followers strong, you wrong. I'm telling you. I've dealt with the ones that, hey, bro, I heard this, heard that. Hey, Pimpin', back up.
But I
ready for no business credit. You ain't ready for no.
I don't want that on my rap sheet though. If they're gonna go and get the information, then they take responsibility for the state that they in. Most of the people that roll with me, they roll with me because they understand that I'm never gonna tell them something that's gonna hurt themselves. And so when people stick with me, and that's why I'm cool with slow growth. It's easy to give people the game and tell them the thing that I know what they want to hear, and it be chock full of information. They come back to it, they subscribe, they blow up the platform even more than it already is, and then, you know what I'm saying, I become more successful as a result of it.
What Anton is missing when it comes to the points that he's making is that there is a huge gap between operating purely on cash, learning about credit, and then going and doing some stuff that's going to get you in trouble. When I mean people learning about credit, I mean learning the basics of utilizing the credit card system to get free money, points, travel perks, things of that nature. Being able to shop for a vehicle better, because let's face it, 99% of us that go out and get a vehicle are going to finance that bad boy. Teaching them about mortgages and how to operate effectively and properly within the mortgage system and the credit system so that you can properly get a mortgage and not be taken advantage of. If we're going to buy homes, 99.9% of us are going to finance that bad boy. Financing is a part of the fabric of America in 2023. As phenomenal and as bright as Anton is, he just will not capitulate to the fact that his followers, 99.999% of them, are going to use financing in their daily lives. Getting an apartment, you need good credit. In 2023, not only do you have to put down 3 months rent, but you have to have a 700 plus credit score. You know how I know? Because I talk to dozens of people every day who are telling me, Jay, I'm just 30 points away. Can you help me? Nah, fam, I can't. Because that's not the way this works. But had Anton or me or people like us got to them months ago, a year ago, years ago, they wouldn't be in this situation because it will be a part of the way they think about things already. Everybody can't operate off of $100,000, $1 million, $10 million in cash to just go do whatever the hell they want to. There's an application process for almost everything we do in this society, and it's for a reason. Do I believe it's all a trap? Hell yeah. Do I believe it's all a gamified system in which most of us fail and be taken advantage of? Hell yes. But is there a solution? Absolutely. And I am proof positive of that. This is the part of the conversation I was trying to have with Anton.
The problem with that for me, though, is that I'd rather have the slow growth and people rock with me based off of my character so that they know that I'm bringing them along the right way. And then they tie it in with me instead of being tied into just the information that I'm giving them. And the reason that that's important is because when people know that you're doing things the right way, or when people know that you're giving them the right type of information when they're ready for it, they'll take the harsh criticism, they'll take the issues, they'll take the problems, they'll take whatever it is that you're dealing with, and they'll even be willing to go along slower in order to get to the successful spaces versus you telling them what they want to hear and then they go out and they kill themselves. Some people kill themselves as a result of it. Now, if you leave and you go and get the information and you go listen to somebody that's not best for you, I guarantee you're going to come back to me and then you're going to get it the right way. But more.
So what he's also ignoring in this particular part of the conversation is that getting it the slow way doesn't mean operating only off the almighty dollar that you have in hand. The way I teach people how to operate with credit is not palatable for most of them. You know why? Because it ain't quick flip money. I'm not teaching you the hacks. I'm not teaching you the plays. I'm not going to teach you how to go finesse the banking system. I'm not going to teach you how to blow up the inflation rate. I'm not teaching you how to do those things. There is a way to properly learn about credit, and there is a way to properly learn about it and do it the slow grow way. I'm not going to have you go out here get a bunch of bullshit little credit cards to go make your score look inflated so that you can go do something or acquire something that doesn't yet belong to you. Once again, using his analogy, eating meat while you're still in the drink and milk phase. I'm not going to let you choke yourself out. But what he doesn't understand is that just because you're talking about credit doesn't mean you're talking about a fast life. It's not the same. All of these different financial dynamics have their own good and bad. Even operating with cash has its own good and bad. Because let's face it, most of us are living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. And in order to be able to build up the kind of cash that you need, what kind of life would you have to live? If any life whatsoever. When you got 2 or 3 kids and you got a wife and you already got the bills in play. Operating on cash is a non-existent theory, but yet the whole time he's saying nobody left behind. Anton, 99% of your followers, my G, are being left behind. That's the long and the short of it. By you not coming all the way down to their level and giving them every possible tool, and maybe you're just not capable because you don't operate those tools, like I said earlier in the conversation, you can't ever say no one left behind. At this point, you're arguing out of both sides of your mouth, my man. You got to pick a lane.
I can't just give information because information without wisdom is dangerous.
100%.
Knowledge without wisdom is dangerous.
100%.
It is one of the most dangerous things that you can do for a person.
Wisdom comes from experience,
so
though.
Let's case in point. Okay, so you just kind of made my point. You'll post videos of your real estate developments, getting the holes dug so you can get your footings, bro. I build houses. I know exactly what parts you have in the process. You'll do all of this, and then you'll say, but I don't go out and get any loans. I do everything cash. So you just eliminated 99.999% of the audience that actually watches you from being able to participate and even follow the game.
Not true.
Bro. Because they
It's
don't
not
have an
true.
avenue
100%
or
true.
entree into that. It would take people 10 years of doing nothing but saving just to get to the point where they can even look at a spot like you
That's
are in
not
right
true.
now.
That's not true
It's
because
100%.
it's all encompassing. See, the thing about it is that I don't just talk about real estate, right? I also give you the game on how it is that you need to level up from a professional perspective. I also give you the game on how it is that you need to minimize your lifestyle. I also give you the game on how it is that you need to level up when it comes to looking at things from a business perspective, your marriage,
But
your
you're
money.
doing it all at once, though, Anton. You're still doing it
Right.
all at once.
But
So
here's the
there is
key.
no actual blueprint to follow. They just have to be able to go back and look at some of the stuff that you dropped from a year ago, a year and a half ago. I do the same thing. I'm going to give you all of the game, but it's up
Mhm.
to you to go back in the library and check out step one. If
But
you're
no, but
doing
no, but
step
see,
12, you
but
got to know
building
that during
real
step one.
estate, you got to remember, me building houses is a new thing. That's a brand new thing. I've never built a house except for me just starting this year.
But
Now
you're
I'm building more.
$200,000 cash into a build. This is
But
where you're
but
losing
but
your
here's the
first
thing.
behind.
In order for you to get into the game, the barrier to entry is a lot easier because I'd rather you go into the right spaces, spend $30,000 as far as to buy land than to spend $50,000 to $100,000 putting 20% down on a $500,000 property, or putting 3.5% down and then paying PMI, right? So what I'm doing is I'm experiencing it and then sharing the information on all fronts, not only just what it is that I've already done, but as I continue to mine out and as I continue to understand the game, I'm able to go through the pitfalls, give you the information on how it is that you're able to do it more effectively than I did it because I made the mistake so that you don't have to. But then you just have all of the information in order to make an informed decision. In addition to the lessons that come along with budgeting, in addition to the lessons that come along with what careers you need to go into in order to get a bigger shovel, in addition to the lessons that come along with how you need to manage your money more effectively. So it's all encompassing. And I would never tell nobody to do anything that I didn't master myself first, which is one of the reasons why I document the process. Documenting the process is not just giving the game. Documenting the process is giving you the proof. You know what I'm
So
saying? So
this part I understand and I agree with you on. But what I don't understand is why you will only offer one way to skin the cat. And
Especially when you just paid off 160,000 or 140,000. I can't remember what it was. You just paid off a mortgage. You mortgaged, bro. You mortgaged. So they can't get where you are without it. You didn't. I didn't. I financed stuff along in life. I might have paid it off quick. I might have paid it off the long way, but I still finance stuff. It's a part of my growth process. It's a part of what made me. I might not finance stuff no more, but I did. You're missing and ignoring that part. If I'm lying, I'm flying. As you can see, I'm still on the ground. You have financed properties. You currently live in a place where you rent, and you say it proudly, so I'm not putting out no BS. You have 2 leased vehicles. You also have a credit card that you use, at least 1 or 2. So this is 6 areas of credit and financing that you have used in your life, that we have gone through the pathway with you, at least just over the last year. So exactly what part of the blueprint belongs to that?
now maybe this is just because it's your own personal experience and you refuse to put out something that you don't actually do or practice, which
I
I
would
can
never
respect.
put out something that I have not done. I can't
I can
advise you on
respect
it.
it. I
Like
can
even
respect
with
this.
the
But
credit report stuff, like
the other
I
day
can't
you said
speak
you
to it.
had the other day you said you had an $8,000 L, right? You misplaced something
Yeah,
and
I did.
misplaced
I took an L.
your
That
property.
was yesterday.
Bro, do you know what that does to most people in a real estate development?
Hmm.
So either what you're telling people is, hey, I'm doing this and you never will, and I'm gonna take over the world,
Hmm.
or you truly do believe on some level that because you are giving people the game on security, what is it? Oh, I forgot what it is. Security. What is it?
For which what? Which one?
What you do? What you do for a living?
Oh, user experience,
Yeah,
information
so
technology.
you give people cybersecurity, right? You give people the game on cybersecurity. You give
Mm-hmm.
people the game on how to, well, not really how to invest, but some of the proper plays to make if you're going to try to level up your finance game. You give people the plays on how to interview properly. You give people the game on everything, bro. But
But it's
then
all based off
there's
of
a
what my real
huge
life
chasm.
experience is first.
But there's a huge chasm from that to then I'm building a house for 250K. Like
Yeah,
there's a
but you need to get the
huge
steps all in between.
What's the step in between?
I
The step in
document
between is
that.
being
I
able to
talk him to
learn
that.
how. Okay, so if you don't have the cash right now, here's how you responsibly go get the cash. Here's how
Mm-hmm.
you responsibly operate with that cash.
And I don't think
Here's how
that
you
you should
don't
leverage
over.
credit.
And then here's how you responsibly pay off the lump sum of whatever the leftover portion of that mortgage is once you get your money up, just like I did. Right, bro? That's the part that you I don't know if you forgot or what, man, but that's a big hole you missing, bro.
To do
Here's how
that.
you don't over leverage yourself with that cash.
I
Here's how
don't
you
think
do it
I
the
don't
right
think that
way.
the average consumer should leverage credit to do that. I do not think so.
You did.
But you think the average consumer can build a house for 150,
I think
250K
I think
to
that an
a mobile
average
home?
consumer can work themselves into the position to be able to build the house if they leverage the steps that's happening before that. See,
How
listen,
can you
you
do
gotta
that in
remember.
a
You gotta
economy
remember, Jay.
where
The crazy part about this, and I know I'm talking a lot, but the crazy part about this is that he's talking about the average consumer being able to work themselves into this point. But once Anton mortgaged that investment property, it was the rents from the investment property plus the personal money he was making and other money from businesses and stuff like that that got him to the point that he could put away enough of the money to go ahead and pay off that mortgage or those mortgages. Multiple mortgages. He is the anomaly financially. I, financially, thank God, am the anomaly. None of us make it out of this money-making rat race without using somebody else's money at some point. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I've done that or that I'll never do it again. I don't like to do it. I don't like to be over-leveraged. I don't like to be anywhere near over-leveraged. But I love to be able to use my name in order to get more than I deserve so that I can make more than I ever would have without it. So does he. You know what? I'm gonna give Anton a little bit of grace. While I'm calling him to the front of congregation, like he does for most people, I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace because I believe firmly that he doesn't remember how it all connects, how it's all connected for him, and how it worked for him. It can work for his followers as well.
You got to remember though, Jay. I'm 41 years old. This is the first house that I'm building from scratch. At 41. I didn't tell people at 23 that they should be doing this. I didn't tell people at 25. I tell them that they can do it a lot faster than I did it. But they can do it. But you got to also understand the journey that came along, me getting to the point to where I've gotten to in order to be able to do so. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I tell everybody, and everybody in this chat know, and everybody that's in my Patreons know. My advice to people is stay down for 10 years. That's what I tell people. Stay
I 100%
down.
agree.
Listen, give me 10 years. It may seem like a long time, but people do 10-year bids.
I agree with
You
this.
give me 10 years, you'll be able to do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. And you can do it faster than I was able to do it because I
100%.
made a lot of mistakes along the way. So at 41, now I'm in a position to be able to build houses cash with no bank financing, no partners, no nothing. But then at the same time, I'm not telling people that they can do it in 2 years or 1 year or 3 months or whatever like that. I'm not telling them the same thing that DJ Envy and them is telling them. I'm telling them there's steps along the way that get you to that 10-year process, and you can do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. But it's going to take discipline. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take some sleepless nights. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some not partying with friends. And so all of that has to be all encompassing. But I didn't do that junk overnight. And I'm still making mistakes, which is one of the reasons why it cost me $8,000. And then I'm documenting that along the way to show you, hey, look.
Using credit don't mean that you doing it overnight. It don't mean that you skipping steps. It don't mean none of that. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that no more than it means using a knife to cut bread is the shortcut instead of just ripping the bread in half. sometimes it just makes it a little bit easier. It's not skipping steps. Sometimes it just makes it a little bit easier when operated responsibly.
Listen, this is the mistake I made. This is how I'm going to be more efficient as a result of it. I know I'm going to make some mistakes. I know I'm going to overspend some money, but you can do it a little bit differently going that way. I'm not telling people that I'm not going to give them the shortcut, Jay. I'm never going to give them the shortcut. Ain't no shortcuts to success.
My thing is teaching people how to operate credit properly is not a shortcut. It's just not.
I think
not,
so.
bro. It's just not. It's not a shortcut. The shortcut is
But
when
you
you
use
tell
credit.
somebody, "Hey, bro, you
I
can
don't
go
get it.
over to Navy Federal and get a $20,000 card, and you can go to over to PenFed to get another 20. You could credit stack, right? And then what you do with that play, you go buy your house on all those cards, and then you flip it, and then that's the.
You know these people. Come on, man. Come on, Jay.
That's the bullshit I'm talking about.
No, Jay. I would never. But see, and listen, I think that's your lane. I would never tell anybody to do that. You know why?
That's not my lane, bro. That's the lane that's out here. My lane is make sure you have your finances together, right? My lane is your lane all the way up until we get to the point of actually utilizing credit. I agree with everything you say.
I do.
But once you learn how to control your finances, once your bank account has enough money in it, and you're able to operate without being under financial duress, there is another level to this game.
So what makes this so hard for me to understand is how he doesn't understand that there's a level to operate credit responsibly when he does so himself. He uses his credit card to buy flights, equipment, all of this stuff. He does it himself. And then he immediately pays his bill off. You know why? Because he has the finances in place. Also, number two, he didn't spend more than the finances that he had in place. You're going to spend the money anyway. Using a credit card gives you rewards points. It also gives you far more protection than using cash or debit. Far more, and it's not close. And the better the credit card, the better the protection, the better the rewards, the better the status. All of these things are a part of learning this part of life. Why would you keep this from your people? And even if you don't know, put the resources in place for them to be able to learn it. Build the partnerships that you trust. Vet the people. Watch their processes. Watch the information that they deliver to your audience. Why would you not put it in place for them? If you don't use it, that's fine. If you don't necessarily agree with it, that's cool too. But if you truly do live the life of no man left behind, and that means man or woman, then stop leaving them behind. Because an all-cash society in 2023 in America absolutely does not exist. Not for the majority.
There is a level that tells you, if you're traveling, you better have you one of these. You feel me?
I got
if you're
one.
Going out to restaurants,
it's in there.
You better have one of these so that when you use one of these,
but let me tell you the difference. See, the one thing that they don't tell you though, you showed the cars, right? You showed the Gold American Express, you showed the Plaid one. I got two, right? And I got the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But here's the difference. Here's the play though. The one thing they don't tell you is that, first of all, for most of these cars, you're paying a $500 yearly fee, right?
Absolutely. I sell it.
Second thing is interest rates. So they going out to dinner and they using these cars.
Interest rates shouldn't even be a thing if you're operating.
But it is, because it's the way that they market it to the people in order to get them to use the cars in the first place. See, you can do that though, Jay, because you have the resources. You have the resources to be able to pay it off.
Your mistake is believing that credit is a rich man's game.
Hold on, Jay. You got the resources to be able to justify getting that card in the first place and being able to spend the money to actually be able to accumulate the amount of points that it's actually going to make it worth your while to even have the card, right? Because you need to be at a threshold even to be able to justify spending that money and having that card in the first place.
Now, here's where Anton's lack of understanding of how this actually works. He got the basic information, i.e. he knows that the credit card, American Express card, is going to $700 annual fee. The gold card, $250 annual fee. But you shouldn't even be getting these cards if you're not utilizing the features that well over pay back those annual fees. This is what he doesn't believe anybody can teach y'all. And this was disappointing for me. It was disappointing for me that I could not get him to a place to admit that what he was saying is he just doesn't trust his babies. He doesn't trust that if he puts the information in their head like he does on a daily basis, that they will then utilize that information to go, hey, here's where I belong right now, and here's where I don't belong right now. He doesn't trust that. And that's the part that, I mean, if you look at my face halfway, some parts of this conversation, I'm in disbelief because he's so far ahead of the curve on so many things. But with this particular subject, it's still caveman error because yes, fees do come along with it. But if you teach the people, they will learn. They absolutely will learn. And some of them are going to apply it. Some of them are not. Some of them are going to misapply it. But for those who are ready, they're absolutely being held back by the lack of knowledge. How can I not? Why is it that I can't get this through? Is the only thought that's going through my head at this point. And the reality is you check the chat and people just go along with it. Just because it's being said by somebody that they know and love, they go along with it instead of thinking for themselves like, while I'm agreeing with Anton, I'm over here living a financed life. So if I'm going to live a financed life, how can I live the best of that financed life? Because living a cash life without finance is just it's just out of the scope of operation for almost anybody. It really, truly is.
And you have the life experiences to give you that responsibility to be able to justify having that card and being responsible enough to not even care about the interest rate because you ain't never paying no interest on it.
Y'all remember this? I made the mistake so that you don't have to. Remember earlier when Anton said that? Matter of fact, when I edit this, I'm going to go ahead and put that back in this portion of the conversation. I made the mistakes so you don't have to. Why does that apply there but not here? I made the mistakes so I can teach you where I hit my pitfalls. Put my coat down over that puddle. You can walk right over it. Why does that not apply here?
When this little one over here is getting a Navy Federal, right, and they credit hacking and they went to the credit repair guy, right, and they've never learned how to be responsible with their finances, but what they did was they learned how to get more credit so they can buy more shit and then continue to fuck their life up. They gonna be paying 29% interest.
That's true.
They gonna be paying 23% interest.
You can't stop
because it wasn't marketed for us. We the ones that's hacking. It's marketed so that we can talk about it and then they can go and get it knowing that they're gonna be fucking their life up. And then they're going to be in debt. Then they're going to have to file for bankruptcy possibly. Or they're going to have to finesse the game or finesse the system. I don't want them to go through that, Jay. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
So because the 3 go out and mess up their life, the 7 don't even get the opportunity to learn about it? No man left behind.
You knowing this, you feel just fine not.
Let me ask you a question. If 10 people get the information and 8 of them leverage it and do it the right way, but 2 of them fall behind on the 8 ball and they got to spend the next 5 years of their life preparing themselves to get back up to the starting line, was it worth the information?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not here for the many. I'm here for the one.
No.
That's Anton's famous line.
Who's ready for the game. I cannot stop people. Let's just back it up. Do you use a weapon? You stay.
Anton, big dog. You can't use all the lines, bro, and just live by all of them. You can't say no man left behind, but then 2 shows earlier you said I'm not here for the many. I'm here for the one, or I'm here for the few. You can't say them both. You can't say them both, big dog. I love you, man, but you can't do it, bro. It don't work. It doesn't work. It's either one or the other. Now, for me, I'd rather give the knowledge out, just like happens in school, just like it happens in college. You go to sex education, you learn about using condoms. That's going to spark sexual thoughts in some people that, quite frankly, probably weren't even having thoughts on that level yet. They weren't even there yet, but now they're thinking about it. If you don't educate, all of them end up pregnant with STDs. You got to give the information out and trust that when you show them how to put that condom on that banana or that cucumber, whatever the hell they be training them on these days, hopefully 7 or 8 out of 10 will do it the right way. 2 out of the 10 gonna end up pregnant with STDs. That's just the way of life, bro. And if you're not living like life exists in that realm, fam, I don't even honestly know what to say. I don't.
You stay ready, right?
Hmm?
You stay ready. Right?
I'm gonna try
I'm
to give
always
another
ready.
analogy.
All right, for sure. What about Rita? Does she stay ready?
Yeah, she right here.
We're talking about
Okay. Who taught
weapons.
her?
I did, but she didn't move. She never moved. But see, here's the key.
Hold on, wait. Don't.
Okay,
Hold
go
on,
ahead. I'm gonna just answer the questions. I taught her.
Are
I taught her.
you going to teach your daughter how to handle a weapon responsibly?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now weapons are incredibly dangerous tools, just like fire, right? However, if used responsibly, they can save your life. But you can't tell the mentality of a person who you're teaching how to use a weapon.
I
You
can.
just have to hope that if you teach them the safety skills, that if you teach them to respect
Nope.
that weapon, you teach them to operate it responsibly, that they won't go out and do a mass deletion.
Nope.
You get what I'm
And I
saying?
would never put it.
It
I
ain't
would
no
never
different
even
than
teach
teaching
them.
somebody how to use fire or a weapon or anything of that nature, bro. You have to give people the tools in order to make the decisions.
You left one part out, Jay. I'm not even teaching them or even entertaining the possibility of them having a weapon until they're ready for it.
Right. But there are many people out there, Anton, that have to use a weapon that have to learn how to use weapons of any kind.
No. You missed it. You missed it. Until I believe
take away people's ability to get educated just because some might not get it right, then you take away their power altogether.
Nope, that's not true. It takes 41 years to be 41 years old. It takes 16 years in order for you to even be able to get a license. It takes 21 years for you to even be able to get to the point. Excuse me. You give me some
18 years for you to be able to financially apply for credit.
but you're missing it. It's my responsibility as their leaders and as the person that's covering them to put them in a position to be successful, not just give them the information. And so I determine, based off of my own experience, when they're ready to be able to get a weapon.
But
Anton has thousands and thousands and thousands of loyal followers. He can't touch all these people. You cannot reach out and touch all these people. Even running that thought process through your mind, bro, is a level of, now this is where we start getting into the whole arrogance thing, right? Now I can be incredibly arrogant, so I'm not going to act like Anton can't either. In order to tell yourself that the information I'm putting it out because I know each and every one of my bag chasers is ready for this information or can apply this information because I know their mentalities on a singular level is absolutely beyond ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous, bro. It is. It is. And if you go to a gun safety class where you are discussing getting your concealed carry license or whatever the case may be, right, you'll find 20 people in there, right? That safety instructor, while he's certifying all 20 of those people, if they all pass, he don't know what them folks gonna do with that certification should they decide to operate a concealed and carry out in the public, out in the general public. He don't know what they're gonna do. But his job is to do the best he can to make sure that they can all, not will, but can all operate those weapons in a safe manner. Anton does the same thing on a daily basis through his platform. I do the same thing on a daily basis through my platform. But the message is escaping him somehow. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I'm more than open to being incorrect or being corrected. But I don't understand how you have the expertise and just, or maybe he doesn't, but how he is telling me like, yo, putting out this information is dangerous. My side of it is not putting it out is far more dangerous. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments.
When you
until then,
your side, and you're making that determination for all of them, Anton,
because these are my babies. They my babies. And And listen,
No,
my
man.
goal
No.
is not just to grow the platform.
No.
My goal is to be a beacon of light for people that separate themselves from what's normal in society. I'm not here for. I'm not here. Hold on. I'm not here for I'm not here for 9 billion people on the earth. I'm here for my babies.
I overtalk way
And
too
so
much.
if one of them fall behind, then we got to stop the show.
No.
And we got to pull them up.
That's not the way
Right
this shit
now,
works.
it's the same thing in my household. It's the same thing for the people that work for me, and it's the same thing for myself. I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, feel comfortable enough to see somebody go out there with the information that I give them and kill themselves as a result of it. It's my responsibility to shepherd over my people to make sure that they are never, ever under duress, under no circumstance, because I would rather you be normal than the possibility of you being abnormal and killing yourself as a result of it. And it's the same way with my wife. It's the same way with my daughter. And it's
Not even the best shepherd in the history of the Bible was able to stop all his sheep from being slaughtered. The best shepherds lose some sheep to the foxes. The best. The best. So do you just never let your sheep go out into the pasture and wander around? Do you just keep them all cooped up in a cage? Or do you do your level best to make sure that all of your sheep that are under your covering stay as close to the shepherd as possible? One or two wander off and get caught up by the fox. You cannot sacrifice the rest of their benefit to save that one or two. You can't, man. You can't. And hopefully this message gets through to Anton. Hopefully he can see some benefit in me putting up this video.
the same way with my employees. I will never put a gun in their hand. I will never put a gun in my daughter's hand. I will never give her the keys to the car until I believe that she's ready responsibly, mentally, emotionally, that she understands that her brain is even capable of processing the importance of what it takes in order to defend yourself and what it does to a person. I can't do it.
I respect your position on that, bro. And I'm gonna leave it at that because that's your position on that. But I do believe that you do have many followers who are ready to operate it properly, and they're not getting all of the game from you.
They're gonna have to wait. And if they really care that much, then they would help their brother. That's why we got the Discord. Help your brother and sister get to where you are so that we all can go together, because we're not moving unless everybody is in unison. We're not moving unless everybody is on the same page. And so as long as it's one person that's lagging behind, then that's the person that's going to slow up the whole bunch, because we are no man left behind movement. Like, I'm not doing it. If I stayed at 200,000 subscribers on this platform for the rest of my life, I'm cool with it, because the one thing that I'm always going to do is be responsible for the way that I affect other people. Now, I can't let one person kill themselves in order to push the rest of the 99.
I got you. Now, I know, because I know you got other people that's trying to come up. I know you had some questions on credit repair, and I saw a lot in the chat that I was like, ooh, no. So let me answer your questions for you, bro, and maybe I can answer some other people's questions while I'm answering yours at the same time.
Okay.
You said you don't understand what credit repair is. Can you give me your understanding as far as you know?